Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. And we are doing the conflicted card deck right now. This is deck number 1. I have 5 of them. They have quite a few. And this is the King of Hearts. And it says, describe 5 things that you can do to prepare for the collapse of society. Number 1 is your health. You should have that. Tarzan number 8. So in the last one was a flashback where we got a story from Tarzan before he met Jane and how he had come up with a myth for an eclipse, to explain an eclipse and the moon and stars and the sun. And here we are back to the story where Tarzan has been shot along with 2 other apes that he met just by chance from another tribe, and he convinced them to run toward the soldiers, the Abyssinians, who had captured Jane. Toward Achmed-Zek's men who had captured Jane. So this is Achmed-Zek's men, Tarzan, these other tribe. And actually, this is his tribe, because some of them do know him, but he ran into them by accident, and a lot of them don't know them. A lot of them are young. A few episodes ago, at the end of the one where he had the myth, in the middle of that one, he left the tribe for months. And some of the old ones who had known him had died. Sorry, I had to break this up. I don't know about you guys, but stuff is up all over the place. Everyone I know is struggling right now. So let's get back to this. This is the issue number 8. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle by Marvel Comics. This is Tarzan and his old tribe. Most of them don't know him, and he ran into them by accident and just got 2 of them shot by Achmed-Zek's warriors who had captured Jane. Tarzan is also suffering from amnesia from when he went to an ancient Atlantis city in the jungles of Africa and stole a bunch of treasure from La of Opar, who lives there with a bunch of Aborigines or Neanderthals, one of the others. Neanderthal, I think. They were like cavemen. They weren't apes. But anyhow, Tarzan is here explaining to these apes what has happened and who he is, and they don't remember him, and some of them want to fight him. Sorry, a lot is going on. Plus, I'm getting texts from work right now. And he remembers Jane, and so this one one of the ones who was injured wakes up and tells the others that this is Tarzan. He was a member of our tribe. He's a great warrior and a great fighter, and the hunting will be good with him. And Tarzan tells him that you're only wounded. It's just a graze. Put some mud on it. It will heal. You'll be good as new. And then so this is also a catch up. There's a lot of exposition here. We got the explanation about Jane, how Tarzan has to go after her. He just feels compelled to, even though he has amnesia. There's a lot of working parts in this for Roy Thomas. There's a lot to keep track of. So Tarzan, however, has been shot and he needs to rest and recuperate, and so he stays with the ape tribe for a while, for a few months until he feels better. And at one point, some of the apes challenge him, and he has to fight this one down here. I don't remember his name now. But we get a few pages of Tarzan. I want to say his name is Tog. Tog is the one who remembers Tarzan. This one is, yes, this is Chalk. It's hard to say ape names. I'm not accustomed to it. But we get 2 pages of Tarzan fighting with Chalk. Now this, I have begun to notice a very interesting thing in Johm Buscema's work. The first half of the comic is obviously the first couple weeks of his time. And he basically spends it indulging in the absolutely most beautiful, moment-to-moment, drawn out, I suppose the other word would be indulgent, scenes and illustrations. It's just awesome. So the first half of the book is really, really, really good. And then he gets, I should explain what's happening. He fights this one ape and gets him to, he could kill him, and the other apes want him to kill him because they just get worked up. But Tarzan decides to not break his arm, which would cripple him, and not to kill him if he will submit and basically be his friend. So Tarzan shows Chalk mercy, and then he asks members of the tribe who will come with him to go after his mate. And there's a bunch of grumbling about that too, that they have fire sticks and that they'll kill members of the tribe, and that it's not their job to go after Tarzan's mate. But then Tog, who Tarzan got shot the first time and remembers Tarzan, he says he'll go with him, and that he challenges all the others who are not scared to come with. So, yeah, sorry for the interruptions. This really indulgent, beautiful Johm Buscema artwork, these last few pages, Tarzan fighting with Chalk, C-H-U-L-K, Chalk. We get all of this, right? This doesn't really advance the story, but it does make Chalk a loyal member of Tarzan's tribe, Tarzan's pack. Tarzan is like the alpha wolf. And he had left this tribe and now he's come back. And so he asks who will go with him, and Chalk says he'll go, and then he challenges the rest of them that they're scared. And this one ape, Toglot, he says he'll go, but he's shifty. He's got plans. A couple pages of ads. Dialogue, African dialogue. And here we get them heading out, the three of them together. One of the things I've been wanting to talk about for a few of these now is discipline. And that's definitely what we're going to talk about today. These guys who have agreed to go with him on this raid are not very disciplined. And they stop to eat, and they stop to investigate things. One of them stops to play with a rodent and devours it. One of them stops to eat a bunch of grubs. But they eventually do reach Ahmed Zek's camp. And Tarzan has an idea. This is hilarious. They wait and then ambush a group of raiders leaving the camp, basically a patrol going out for food or whatever. They ambush them and they take their clothes. And Tarzan gets these two apes dressed up like people. And then they jump the walls of the camp and go inside, and they're looking for Jane. And Tarzan has also promised them a bunch of food and whatever else they can get. It's fucking hilarious. And so here's a bit where once they get inside, a bunch of Ahmed Zek's Arab raiders see them huddled near some tents and think they're gambling and think they're people. So the disguise actually works. And furthermore, we have 4 pages of ads, and we get a pin-up. This is pretty cool. Maybe a discarded cover. It's good. Maybe it could have been just included in the story. Like, why didn't they put it back here all these pages ago? I don't know. But it's part of the fight with Chalk. And here we got, this page compresses a whole bunch of stuff into a very small space. And I think maybe the last one too. And I skipped past it. No, this is just Tarzan. Okay, so we get a little bit of Albert Werper with the Abyssinians, who are a few miles away, and he is telling their leader about the city of Opar with all the gold, and the leader has said, would you stake your life on it? I hope so, because you have. And so they're getting ready to head out in the morning to go search for the city of Opar. And La is there with her beast men. And here, Tarzan is listening to Ahmed Zek and his leaders making plans, and they're in a tent, and then Tarzan sneaks in behind them after they head out. I think that's how far we get. And meanwhile, Jane is in another tent, and Toglok has snuck away from Chalk and Tarzan and has gone and kidnapped Jane. Jane actually thinks it's Tarzan, or so Roy Thomas writes, and that's why she's not screaming and struggling. So I was saying about how John Buscema is really indulgent in the first half of the book, and then we get the second half of the book that has all these other characters and no less than 6 or 7 panels per page. We don't get any more indulgent stuff. Here we've got 7 again. Here we've got 7 again. He's really fitting a lot. You know, you can tell he's pressed for pages. And it's not 22. He's only getting 16 or 17 pages. Here we get the end of the book, and look at this, 7 and 9. So four pages of 7 and 1 page of 9. And let me explain what happens on all these multitude of panels here. Jane has been kidnapped by Toglock, and Tarzan realizes it. Tarzan can smell him in the tent, and then Tarzan sends Chalk out of the camp one way, and he himself walks out as a man straight through the raiders and uses the fact that he's wearing clothes to slip past them and that they're confused, and then he lights out after Toglock and Jane. So we won't know it until tomorrow. Meanwhile, Jane has fainted, so Toglock really could be having his way with her right now. That horny little ape. Tarzan number 8, Roy Thomas and John Buscema. Good stuff. Sorry, couch kind of broke. All right, what 5 things should you do to prepare for the end of the world? And I said I wanted to talk about discipline, and it seems like everyone's kind of losing their mind right now. There's lots of infighting going on in all the different little silos. The couple of silos I'm part of kind of have one of them has big infighting, and another one I'm a little bit detached from. But the stuff going on in all these little groups, competition is a natural sort of progression, and discipline lets you compete with yourself instead of with others. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm really excited about the comics that I'm working on. I wrote 4 chapters yesterday. Today I didn't write anything yet. I woke up late. I didn't get anything written late night last night, but I did get some drawing done that was really good. Really, really good. When I finish this epic, I'm aiming for 120 pages. Well, that's obviously not going to be the case. I'm at 180 now. But maybe half of, like 250 would be good. I'm at chapter 80 something, chapter 81. So I'm aiming for 120 chapters. And that would be a lot less than my novels. These novels, which are 700, 750 pages. I guess the average novel length is 400 to 500 pages. So I went a little bit over because I wanted to. I wanted to challenge myself. These are over 700 pages each. And the next ones, now that I've done this, I can take my foot off the gas a little bit and I don't have to be insane about this. Plus the publishing world, the shakeout happening in the publishing world is pretty interesting. So I've talked about how when I published these, Discipline, I am going to talk about Discipline. When I published these, the ebook craze had just hit. Now, I'd been writing them for years. I had no idea the ebook craze, that the Nook and the Kindle were going to come out, or that they were going to be the kind of hits that they were, novelty items, and they didn't really, I think there's some users, there's some readers, but the readers market has also shifted, and publishing is changing again. And so I'm very glad I own the rights to my own work, and I'm not beholden to a publishing company. I don't have a bunch of debt. I don't have a history of trying to write things that aren't the sort of things I should be writing, which is clearly something that's happening in the publishing industry. We talked about how the other day I was watching a Chuck Dixon, I think it was 221, Chuck Dixon, Q&A with Chuck Dixon 221, where he had pulled up a quote from Joyce Carol Oates, a writer who said her literary agent friend can't place any work by white males, new white male writers. even if it's anti-white work, even if it's attacking white privilege. If a white male writer is attacking white privilege, that's anti-white work. That's someone using their God-given gifts to attack their race. And they've been tricked into that by Jews. So, what does that have to do with discipline? My work right now is devoid of propaganda, and it feels really good and wholesome to do it, especially the drawing. The drawing is completely innocent of propaganda. You can't propagandize it. It's the words where the propaganda comes in. Although you can still see it, I suppose, in that Tarzan is the dominant force amongst a bunch of feral savages, all the way up and down the socioeconomic spectrum, from apes to savages. And in terms of that, there's a lot going on. I mean, you guys see the news as well as I do, so I don't have to get into that. But discipline will save your life. Discipline will keep you out of trouble. And for me, the fiction addiction has been the most rewarding addiction of all. I have addiction to working out and health and all that kind of stuff. I've been a little lax on that this summer because I've been struggling financially. Sort of self-created struggles that I didn't need to go through, but the fiction addiction saved my life a lot of times. So, neglected a lot of relationships because of it, but you can't have everything. So yeah, I haven't said anything about discipline at all. I haven't given any little anecdotes, and I haven't thought of any. Just that the work I'm doing, this is the thing about artwork. If you're constantly progressing and you're always getting better, today's always better than yesterday. And in some ways, that's got to be enough. It's really what gets you through the night, right? What like the John Lennon song, whatever gets you through the night. Just don't let it be drugs. Don't cheat. Drugs are a cheat, and it'll burn you out. So, all right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.